Hey guys, what's going on? So here we go. Today we're going to be talking about the TriggerSafe. Okay? Not the gun. This little thing right here. This is a product, full disclosure, this was sent to me by James Gray, the inventor of the TriggerSafe. And it was completely sent to me for free. I didn't pay anything for it. That being said, this is something that I think is very well thought out and I would say it's very worth your money. If you have a truck gun kind of thing or a home defense rifle that this would fit, or your law enforcement, military, whatever, I think it'd be a very, very good thing to invest in. Full disclosure, I don't know the exact price. I'll try to annotate it somewhere for you because like I said, this was sent to me. I didn't buy it. What is it? Okay, it is, like I said, it's the TriggerSafe. It's this little piece of plastic right here. Sorry, camera leg. Very simple little thing. Basically just looks like a piece of Kydex that's molded and folded in half, all right? And that's really all it is. And what it does is it goes over the, let me put it in here. It goes over the trigger area, all right, of your AR-15 rifle, and it kind of clicks in place, okay? And it has a little arm here that sticks out that makes sure that the gun, firearm, whatever you want to call it, is on safe, okay? So the first thing that James wanted me to understand whenever he sent me this stuff is that I needed to understand that this is not a tactical implementation tool or whatever you want to call it. This is not something that you keep on your firearm 24/7. And like for instance, if I was still a cop, you know, I would not keep this on my gun until I'm ready to bust down a door, be standing there by the door, and then take it off. That's not what this is for. This is designed, and I think very well thought out and made to keep things from getting into your trigger guard, not your finger, all right, because you should have your own finger control, okay, your trigger control, all that stuff, that's up to you, okay? People still do have accidents, like me, right? I have 4 fingers on this hand. Look it up in the dictionary. Thumb can be considered a finger. And even James himself, that's how he found me. I was on one of my videos talking about my hand, and he had done the same thing with his hand long time ago. You look up some of his videos at SHOT Show, and you notice his left hand is the same thing. And so people like us, we think of things like this, like what could prevent that, or what could prevent a firearm from going off and hurting somebody, you know, unintentionally, completely like I'm not touching the gun, and the gun itself didn't go off, but maybe something else like a tree limb or something, or if it's in the trunk of your car, if it's a truck gun, something getting inside here, because gear and things can flip off the safety. And if the safety gets somehow flipped off and something else gets happening and bumps that trigger, your gun's going to go off. And it may not be your fault for putting your finger in the trigger, but is there something that you can do to prevent that? And that is what James thought of, and that's why he came out with this TriggerSafe. So he sent it to me a little while ago, and I should have had a video out before on this, but it's taken me a while, and basically I just wanted to get some more time with it. And then I got to thinking, you know what? The only time that I would be able to say, yes, this thing helped save whatever. There's a butterfly sitting there on the deal. The only time that, you know, that I actually had an encounter or whatever that this thing saved me from accidentally shooting the gun. Well, you're not going to know that because the gun would have gone off, right? So I'm like, this is dumb. I'm going to go ahead and make the video because it works. This appears to be pretty much foolproof, okay? And let me just explain. The best way to explain of how I would use this and how I do use this, how I would use it if I was still a cop on my gun, on my AR-15, right, that I would have in my trunk or by my side. This would be a perfect thing to have in there, okay? Because depending on your agency, whatever, my agency did not allow, we could have, I think, a magazine in the gun, but we could not have a round chambered. It's old rules, whatever, it came from shotgun days and stuff, but whatever. It's neither here nor there. Some agencies, I'm sure, do allow you to have your firearm actually loaded and ready to go, because sometimes you need it loaded and ready to go when you jump out of a car. And that's where it would be very nice to have this TriggerSafe on your gun, ready to go, with a loaded gun, and it keeps everything, keeps it on safe, it keeps everything from getting at the trigger, right? Now, the thing about this not being a tactical tool is that, yeah, there's some times, and you'll probably even see me when I'm taking it off and taking it on, sometimes it might not want to go on right away. I mean, of course, right now I'm talking about it and it will. But this is not something that's made to just flick off, okay? This is something, like I was saying, if I was still a police officer or deputy sheriff or whatever you want to call it, and I have this in my trunk or whatever, this little lanyard hole right here, is perfect to either have a bungee or a paracord or something attached from here to like my something in my trunk, or on something on the hookup wherever I lock up my gun on the inside of the car, to where when I grab my gun and I get out of my car, it's going to automatically just rip it off. Okay, it's on safe, so you don't have to worry this thing's not going to get in there and shoot something, right? But it's going to automatically just rip it off the gun. Okay, the same thing can be said if you are like a farmer or a rancher or somebody that has a truck gun or something that you like to keep loaded for coyotes or pigs or whatever you find running around your property that's not supposed to be there, right? And you could safely keep the firearm loaded, ready to go, and have your trigger safe on your gun. And then either have it lanyard off onto something in your car so that when you go to grab your gun, you just grab it and it pops right off. Or, I mean, if it's not, I don't know, you could always just take it off, all right? But you got to take it off before you get out of the car. You don't want to get your gun, get ready to get into a situation, and then, oh, I need to get it off now, and something happened. And that's one thing James wanted to make sure that I understood, that this is not something that you operate the gun with it on and then you take it off when you need it. No, this is more or less for storage, or for what he was saying, they have them coming out for shotguns and stuff. So for duck hunters, deer hunters, folks that use shotguns, you could easily, I mean, granted, whenever I go hunting, and I'm sure a lot of other people do this, sometimes you just get tired. Sometimes hunting means getting out of the house, getting away, getting secluded somewhere in the middle of nowhere and taking a nap. Sometimes that happens, and a lot of times that ends up happening. And what can be nice is you can keep your gun loaded, right? You can get your trigger safe, put it on your gun. See, even there, it had a little click. Put it on your gun, and then if you fall asleep and this thing slips and snags something, it can't snag anything now, right? Because nothing can get in there. You're not going to wake up and jerk. You know, you hear something and jerk and pop your trigger off. No, you're not going to do that. So those are the situations, the instances where this thing can really, really, really come into play. He sent me a green one, he sent me a black one, a tan one, a red one, and then my favorite, because I like to talk about my law enforcement boys, he sent me a law enforcement one, right? The flag with the thin blue line on it. And these work. They all work the exact same. I gave the tan one, I think, away to a buddy of mine, the guy that actually owns this range. He saw it and thought it was pretty cool, and I was like, well, I got like 5 of them, so you can have one. So I don't have it here with me. I'll roll in some pictures of them, but they're very, very simple. They're not going to mess up your firearm by any means. It's just a simple little click in and off kind of thing. Very, very cool. And I did not bring my AR-10 out here, but these will, at least on the Alexander Profab AR-10 that I have, it will fit. It will function. All right. It's not a perfect fit, but it will fit. And also, I was kind of surprised to see on my CZ Scorpion, right? You take the little guy, and it will actually snap on. You can hear it snap on. Listen. There. And it's not just going to fall off, right? And if it gets knocked off, that's one thing, right? But you're going to have to take it off. Gear, it's made to keep stuff out of that trigger guard. And it even works with the safety as far as keeping the firearm on safe, right? If you go to put it on fire, it's not going to fit on there right? So it wants to keep it on safe. So there you go. It's not, and caveats, it's not made for this gun. He could make one specifically for this, but it will work to keep things out of that trigger, okay? So the guns I know it works on are regular AR-15s, an Alexander Profab AR-10, and the Scorpion Evo 3, right? It works just fine, apparently. So that is it. There's no action shots or whatever of me using this. I probably should do something like that, but it's a very practical tool, right? A very practical piece of kit. I hate when people use that word or that term, whatever. But whatever, I just used it. But it's a very practical item to have and to use on your firearms, I think. And especially even for your home defense gun, right? Like if you had an AR-15 by your bed or by the door, you could, with that lanyard thing, you could easily have your gun ready to go, right? All ready to go, just on safe. And then all you gotta do is grab it, snatch it, and it pops right off, you know? So, that's the TriggerSafe. I think it's really cool. I will annotate a link for it somewhere, a link to his website and all that. They should have them coming out for the Mossberg 500 sometime, because I emailed them about that, because I don't have a Remington, which they are coming out sooner with the Remington 870, right? 870 shotgun. and then they should have the Mossberg 500 coming sometime. And who knows, if y'all give him some love and some support and go buy his stuff, maybe he'll get enough interest shown that he will do some other firearms, whatever that might be. But the most prevalent firearm out there is definitely going to be the AR-15 family of rifles. So there you go. That's TriggerSafe for y'all. I appreciate James Gray for sending me this stuff. It's really, really cool. I appreciate it. I really like it. Stand by for a giveaway here before too long, where I will be doing another upper from Shark Arms. This is May 19th, okay? So probably within the next week or 2 weeks, be looking for it. But an upper from Shark Arms, and then one of his red TriggerSafes, I'll be giving one of those away too. And the packaging is awesome. It looks really cool, very professional kind of stuff. But look for that. Again, I appreciate it, James. Hope this helps you out. And all y'all out there that are safety conscious kind of people, if you're a safety Nazi and you don't have one of these, you're wrong. Like, you are definitely wrong. Now that you know what's out here, okay, ignorance is bliss. Well, now you're not ignorant of it. Now you know they're out there. So you go get you one. I think it's a very practical piece of polymer plastic to have. Anyway, y'all be good to be safe. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.